यस यार, स्टार्ट होने के बाद क्या अगर लाइव विशेष 6:45 इट्स ओके.
All right, I'm audible.
Yes.
Before starting off, I would request everyone to switch on your video cams. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and welcome to the 953rd meeting of the legendary Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. Just as the ritual says, we'll be starting off by our club mission, and our club mission is that we provide a supportive and a positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, before proceeding further into this meeting, let's talk a little bit. Because I was thinking the other day, and the most luckiest people on this planet right now is not the person who owns a car, it's not the person who owns a bike, but it's the person who's owning a bicycle. Because every morning I wake up, I'm seeing people going to Taj Mahal, going to Rajpath, going to Bhutan, going to Nepal, going to everywhere in this world. And I do not have a bicycle. But it's important to maintain your physical fitness in these times because everything is online. And honestly, when this meeting ends after 2 hours, my eyes are soaked out of water. And I'm pretty sure your eyes are having the same condition. And if I would have had Toastmasters Swadhin over here, I would have asked him, and how does he maintain his physical fitness? But we have Toastmasters Hriday. I'll not ask him how is he maintaining his physical fitness. I'll ask him, does he do anything to maintain his physical fitness?
Yes, I eat and sleep.
That is an absolutely rubbish idea to maintain your physical fitness. I'm so not proud of you. Then we have a bit more intellectual person. Let's talk to Toastmaster Devesh. Yes, Devesh. Do you do anything to maintain your physical
So what
fitness?
makes you say I'm an intellectual person?
It.
Looking at the
I think
age.
the age gap. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So I don't do much, but I ensure that I'm spending at least 10 to 15 minutes every day, which involves stretching exercises quickly and then some push-ups. That's it.
Some push-ups. I'm so proud of you. You and I
Plus
don't do that.
what Hidra says does.
every time I go up to Toastmaster Devesh, he always comes up with something good and something positive, and that's absolutely great on his part. So let's proceed further into this meeting. But before that, let me announce the rules of this meeting. Do not use any language other than English, and even if you do so, make sure they are good. Make sure you provide a translation for the same. Do not involve politics, sex, and religion in your content, and even if you do so, make sure they are good in taste. Do not unmute yourself until the tech master asks you to. And do not chat unnecessarily in the comment box because it distracts the speaker. And now it's time to call upon stage the president of our club. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi.
Good evening, everyone. It's so good to see you all here once again. And I welcome you all to the 953rd meeting of Legendary Toastmasters Club of New Delhi. And before moving forward, I would like to have the introduction of our lovely guests who are present here. We have Priya Bansal. Priya, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi everyone. This is. I'm so sorry I'm not able to switch on my video. Actually, I'm traveling back from work. So I'm from Aditya Aluminium Toastmasters Club. It's a corporate club of Hindalco Industries Limited, and I'm from Division I of District 41 and Area 01. So it's glad to be in your club meeting.
Thank you so much for coming, Sneha. And we have Prajyot Singh. Prajyot, can you please unmute yourself?
Hi everyone, this is my first meeting and my name is Prajot Singh. I'm a third year computer science student from University of Delhi.
Okay, and from where did you get to know about our club and what are your expectations from our meeting?
I got to know from Instagram only. I had a friend who had joined another Toastmasters club, but he's he's part of another Toastmasters club only. So I
Oh,
got to know about it.
and we have Navneet Kaur.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I am Navneet. I am Dr. Navneet. I am a dentist. And I am a guest here. I got to know about Toastmasters very recently. And this is my second demo meet of Toastmasters. The first one was for Phoenix, and the second one I have joined you guys to have a look how things go about.
Thank you for coming, Navneet. And we have Sahil, Sahil Taneja.
Hello.
Yes, hi Sahil.
Hi, Tanya, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but there is a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm a guest here. I'm here to do my public speaking. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you're audible. Thank you for joining, Sahil. And we have
Thank
Biswajit.
Hi, good evening. My name is Biswajit Adhikari. I'm from Ahmedabad Toastmasters Club. This is not the first time I'm attending Toastmasters of New Delhi Club, maybe second or third time, but after a gap of 10 years. So, so 2010, when I started my journey in Gurgaon Toastmaster Club, at that time I attended a couple of times. So now after a decade, I am joining back your meeting. So I'm glad.
Thank you for joining Biswajit. It's great. It feels great having you. And we have Umang Yadav. Umang, can you please unmute yourself?
Good evening, all. I am from Invictus Toastmasters. I am attending this meeting for third or fourth time, probably, and I hope I'll have a great time.
Thank you for joining, Umang. And now let us move forward in the meeting. So today's meeting have a very special theme about ideas. So when I was in class 12, I had so many ideas in my mind. I used to work in chemistry lab. I used to burn the alcohol. I used to keep the sodium out and would just burn and go round and round and round and then drop off in. So I have so many ideas. So what if I would have just applied that idea and a new invention might have happened? So there are a lot of what ifs and buts in our mind, which sometimes stop us from pursuing what we want. So today, let us have Toastmaster Nitika, who will be taking us to a journey of ideas. Toastmaster Nitika, please welcome and tell us about how to brew our ideas. Toastmaster Nitika, is she here or has she left? I think she has left.
Yeah, I think
Yes, she has logged out. We'll just check if you could continue with the meeting.
Okay, so today I will be having two roles. One PMOD, then I will be evaluating myself as general evaluator like Tanya. You could have done it better.
We have Nitika, we have Nitika.
We have Nitika. Okay, Nitika, over to you. We were just waiting for you. Why can't I see her?
Thank you so much, Tanya. Actually, I just had some internet connection problem. So now I am back. Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest. The other day, I was watching a documentary on Bill Gates. In that, Bill shared that most of his idea and best of his idea strike into his mind whenever he is on his leisure time. So every year, whenever he gets time, he goes on a vacation, spends a weekend alone, and in the company of nature and books. So during one such trip, he got an idea. If human waste can be transferred into electricity, can electricity be produced by human waste? So when he returned from the trip, immediately he called up a meeting with best of his engineer and shared this idea with them. At first, everybody gave him an absurd look. Electricity through human waste? What an absurd idea and crazy idea it is in itself. However, few of them gave him the possibility of converting human waste into a drinkable water. But electricity, a big no. However, Bill did not leave any stone unturned till the time he finds out the complete possibility to make this happen. And guess what? With so many years of with the year of with the effort, time, and money, he actually made it possible. And in some part of Africa, he was actually able to deploy solar toilets in Africa as well as in India. This idea did not only become a milestone for him, but changed many people's life as well. Now, I'm sure that you must have heard about this Abhishek Bachchan ad, which is What an Idea Surgery, an idea that can change your life. So do you know that this campaign and featuring Abhishek Bachchan in those ads actually lifted the brand to a new plane? And Idea Cellular, Abhishek Bachchan both received Best Celebrity Endorsement Year Award. Can you imagine then who could have ever think of featuring Abhishek Bachchan in those ads, and just because featuring him can make them win this particular award? Now, I think that TMND, this club is also not less. There are also many talented people here. I have actually sneaked into few people's Instagram account and find out that what
Is it just me or Nitika has frozen?
Nitika is frozen.
Nitika has frozen. All right.
Call on us.
All right, we'll not waste any further time. So I'll call the first role player for today. And that is going to be the timer. That is Toastmaster Dhanishta. Over to you, Toastmaster Dhanishta.
Just give me a second. Albert Einstein once said, time is an illusion. And that is what I feel too whenever I'm working out. Whenever my trainer asks me to hold a plank position, 1 minute feels like a lifetime. And that same 1 minute feels like mere seconds when she gives that time for me to rest. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Today, I will be helping all the speakers to wrangle the time and this illusion and to express their thoughts within the given time limit. So let us familiarize ourselves with the time. The minimum qualifying time for a prepared speech is 5 minutes and the maximum allotted time is 7.5 minutes. For a table topic speech, the minimum qualifying time is 1 minute and the maximum allotted time is 2.5 minutes. For a speech evaluator, the minimum qualifying time is 1.5 minutes and the maximum allotted time is 3.5 minutes. For a table topic evaluator, the minimum qualifying time is 1.5 minutes and the maximum time is 4.5 minutes. For all leadership role players, the maximum allotted time is 3 minutes. A green card will be shown when the qualifying time is achieved. And a yellow card will be shown at 6 minutes for prepared speech, 1.5 minutes for table topic speech, 2.5 minutes for a speech evaluator, and for a topic evaluator, it will be shown at a 3-minute mark. A red card will be shown 30 seconds prior to the maximum allotted time. I will be presenting my timer report at the end of the meeting. All the best to all the speakers, and back to TMOD.
Role. Now I would like to call upon the stage our next role player, the arc counter of the day, Toastmaster Faris Nabi.
Hello.
Yes, Faris, you are
Am I
audible.
audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Hi, myself Faris Nabi. I'm a new Toastmaster member, and I will be noting your filler counters today. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So I will be noting your filler counters today.
Sure. Thank you so much, Faris. Now I would like to call upon the stage grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Priyam Khurana. Please welcome Toastmaster Priyam Khurana on the stage, please.
Hi guys, am I audible? Hello.
Yes,
Yes, you are audible. Yes, you are audible.
Good evening, everyone. Today I'll be playing the role of the grammarian. So I'll be telling you two important things. Importance of the grammar and the word of the day, and what happens if you don't use it correctly. So first of all, let's begin with the importance of grammar. Knowing grammar is not important actually. Using correct grammar is what's more important. It's important to learn grammar because we don't want people to misinterpret us. Okay, so we want people to understand what we are trying to say. That's why we need to learn good grammar. Okay, so if you don't learn good grammar, let me show what can happen to you. Can happen with you. This can be next time. It can happen with your kids or family next time. Is the screen sharing?
Yes.
It is visible.
And this also can happen. Okay, so let's start with the word of the day. So yeah, the word of the day is probability. Meaning of the word is the quality of having strong moral principles. Correct usage of the word is business professionals and government employees should work with honesty, integrity, and probity. Synonyms for the words are honesty and integrity. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Priyam, for sharing about your role. Now, without any further ado, I would like to call upon the stage Toastmaster Vishesh Dargan. But before calling him on the stage, I would like to call his speech evaluator, Toastmaster Harsha, who will be sharing about the objective of the speech. Can we have Toastmaster Harsha on the stage, please?
Thank you, Toastmaster Natika. So good evening, everyone. So today Vishesh is presenting his level 2 project 3, and the purpose of his speech is to clearly define how Toastmasters envision mentoring, and also to share some aspects of his previous experience as prodigy. All the very best, Vishesh.
Thank you so much, Harsha. Please welcome Toastmaster Vishesh Dargan. What does it take to be a mentor? What does it take to be a mentor? Toastmaster Vishesh Dargan. Over to you.
I'm audible. Consider a situation in which a hockey player is made to train with a cricket player. And on the other hand, consider a situation in which a chef is made to learn and train along with among other chefs. So in which situation do you think there will be more growth? Probably the second choice, right? The scenario that I just explained is pretty much similar to how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. All of us come here together to help each other become a better speaker and a better leader. When people of similar interests and similar objectives join together and work together, their rate of growth increases exponentially. And it's not about that one person who is the mentor. It's about learning every small thing from each and every single person present here in this room. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. When I came to TMND for the very first time as a guest, I sat in one corner of Himachal Bhavan and did not speak a word for the next 2 hours of the meeting. But as soon as the meeting got over and everyone started dispersing, I see a girl with a blue long coat who seems to be a very studious and a serious kind of a person. Little did I know that the very first person that I met in TMND would eventually become my mentor. The person that I'm talking about right now is our very own ex-president Toastmaster Sonika Jha. Now, for all those people who don't know who Toastmaster Sonika is, I'd like to give a little brief about her. So she's a very straightforward kind of a person who likes to cut to the chase and hit right at the point. And also, she's that one person who wants the meeting to start right at 6:45 and 0 seconds and wants the meeting to end right at 9 p.m. and 0 seconds. Have you guys seen a coconut? Now, Toastmaster Sonika is exactly like one. She can be a little strict, maybe a little bit more than that from the outside, but from the inside, she is very sweet. And to the contrary, I'd like to give you a brief about her newest mentee, that is me. And I am that kind of a person who would be late even to his own wedding. So, two different contrasting personalities in one roof. So, Toastmaster Sonika has always advised us, do not take a speech slot until you have written the speech. And that was the very foremost rule that I had broken. So every time Hriday calls me up and says that your speech slot is confirmed, make sure you prepare well and all the best. I'm like, I have 2 weeks to prepare. I'll write my speech right now and I'll rock it in the end. But the procrastinator inside me comes up and says, अभी तो 2 हफ्ते यार, की गल हो गई? Speech ही तो है. The procrastinator inside me says, there are 2 weeks left, man. It's just a speech. I'll write it easily. And 12 days into those 2 weeks, I'm still thinking, should I have butter chicken or should I have kadai chicken for today's dinner? And that is how it's going. Then I call up my mentor, Toastmaster Sonika. I'm like, hi, Sonika, how are you? I have my speech this Tuesday. Oh, so you must have written the speech, right? Oh, so tell me, what is it about? What is the theme about? I try to act all innocent and cute so as to pretend as if I've written everything. But 2 minutes into the conversation, she realizes with the tone of my voice, Vishesh, you haven't written anything, right? Oh God, how many times have I told you to write everything in advance? You should be well in time. How many times have I told you to be punctual? And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but that is how it is. And in the end, Toastmaster Sonika had accepted that this is how Vishesh is. He's always late. And then comes up the next part. Then after those 110 seconds of brief scolding, she'll be talking about some very important aspects which I can include in my speech. And then I'll be promising her that I'll write the speech in the next 2 hours. And of course, the speech is not written. But until it gets too late, I realize that I have to write the speech now. Do you guys remember the essay address that I just spoke? A similar essay address comes up to my mind at that point of time, but it's a little different. So it goes like, a very bad evening, Toastmaster Vishesh Dargan. Kudos to your small little brain who hasn't written anything yet. It's time to make a call to the speech savior. Hey Siri, make a call to Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi. So it's a call to Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi. Then I call up Tanya. And as soon as she picks up the call and she knows that I have a speech to likhi nahi hogi tune. And I'm like, how do you know? How do you have this ability inside yourself? And then she's like, I have my office on Monday. I have my school on Monday. I have my school on Tuesday. So make sure you tell me everything right now. And then she discusses everything with me. Amidst all this hustle bustle, I've learned a lot of things. There is a hidden element of learning in this. When talking about Toastmaster Sonika, she has told me how to value time, how to utilize time well. And while working with Toastmaster Tanya, she has made me realize that no matter how much messed up the situation is, you can still figure out things if you've got the right mindset. Another person who I've learned from is Toastmaster Samir. Now, mind you guys, if there is an award for the coolest boss in the town, that award has to go to Toastmaster Samir, because that guy is the most coolest and the most understandable guy to work under. When I was the VPPR of a club, I was not going through a great time because I had some arguments, I had some tussles with the other EC members, and things weren't really going great. Then Toastmaster Samir called me up and said that you are the VPPR of a club, you have to take the responsibility. I give you full liberty, you can try and experiment whatever you want to. And that made me realize, and that made me inculcate the leadership style that I wanted to. Now, how can you become a great mentor? You can be a great mentor. You should imbibe the punctuality and the work ethics of Toastmaster Sonica. Imbibe the critical thinking ability and the problem solving ability of Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi. And finally, imbibe the empathy and imbibe the compassion, just as in Toastmaster Samir Agarwal. Thank you so much, everyone. That is my time.
Thank you so much, Vishesh, for sharing the probity of your mentors. Now it's time to call upon the stage our second speaker, who is Toastmaster Sukhmani. But before calling her on the stage, I would like to call her speech evaluator, Toastmaster Vishwjeet, on the stage, please.
Thank you,
Please
Nikita.
give a big hand to Toastmaster Vishwjeet.
Toastmaster Sukhmani is presenting project number 3 from level 1, research and presenting. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. All the best, Sukhmani. Over to Toastmaster.
Thank you.
So
Am I
everyone,
audible?
please help. Yes, you're audible. Toastmaster Sukhmani on the stage. Dark and lovely, Toastmaster Sukhmani. Over to you, Sukhmani.
It starts when children are young. The moment a child is born, relatives start comparing siblings' skin color. It starts in your own family, but people don't want to talk about it openly. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. And today we are going to talk about colorism. The preference of fair skin is a symptom of internalized racism and colorism, one that has been one of the most deep-rooted and lasting legacies of British colonizers. But are they the only ones to blame? The practice of colorism or skin color discrimination can also be traced to India's century-old caste system, which is based on rigid hierarchies of social and hereditary-based occupations. The term for caste, which is also known as Varna, in India's ancient epic refers to the color of Brahmins, who are described as light-skinned, and the Shudras or the untouchables are described as dark or black. But this portrayal is not wrong. The lower caste people often had to work as physical laborers outdoors, which naturally resulted in the darkening of the skin. But the present narrative has far deviated from the truth, and it is completely molded into a different story. Let us take a look at some statistics. India's booming fairness cream industry is valued at 450 million US dollars, and it is increasing at about 18% every year. This global skin lightening industry is projected to grow to 8.9 billion US dollars by 2027. This Fair and Lovely skin whitening cream is the largest share of cosmetic market in India. Over 80% of Indians have admitted to using creams like this to improve their skin tone. Its commercials depict dark, sad-skinned women, and they transform into light-skinned, happy women. It explicitly shows the benefit of light skin in romance, in careers, in marriage, and in life. The makeover narrative reflects not only a physical transformation, but an inner psychological transformation as well. But what it does not portray is the reality of most Indians. It condones insecurity among dark-skinned men and women and promotes a subjective truth by indirectly implying that white skin is the only ticket to success in marriage, in careers, and in life. And even though the Advertising Standards Council of India has banned these adverts depicting dark-skinned people as inferior. In 2014, these products are still marketed and promoted by your favorite celebrities. But it is not just in advertisements that we see fair skin being mutually inclusive with being desirable. In many Bollywood songs too, the message is subtle but very clear. And let me show you an example of that.
गोरी 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 कभी कभी कहीं कहीं चोरी चोरी गोरे गोरे मुखड़े पे काला काला चश्मा काला चश्मा तेनू काला चश्मा जचदा जचदा गोरे मुखड़े पे.
Do we notice a pattern here? This sublime messaging has conditioned a society to associate fairness with beauty and other positive qualities. But perhaps nowhere is the fair skin preference more ingrained than in newspaper classified adverts seeking a spouse. I have a newspaper in front of me. I've opened the matrimonial page and let me read out some matrimonial ads for you. Seeking handsome, fair Agarwal boy 5'10", 68 kg. Maybe they even mention weight nowadays. Seeking Agarwal girl, divorcee, beautiful, BCom MBA, fair, beautiful, seeking well-settled boy. Beautiful, fair, 5'4", slim, MCom 39, unmarried. What starts with home remedies to make you clear or fair graduates to bullying and racist comments on the basis of skin color while growing up. And then it moves to a matrimonial ad written by your own family. But maybe there are some additional harms of these fairness creams too. Let me tell you some. What skin lightening treatments do is target the skin's ability to produce something known as melanin. Everyone has about the same number of cells to make melanin, but how you actually produce it depends on your genes. What these skin lightening creams do is aim to interrupt this production of melanin and just claim to improve the general health of your skin. But most of these creams are a dangerous mix of chemicals, the long-term use of which can lead to health concerns like pigmentation, skin cancer, liver damage, mercury poisoning, among other things. And even though some are aware of these facts, they are willing to overlook it for the sake of adhering to these societal beauty standards. So what is the solution to all this? And is the narrative even changing? Well, yes, there is a good news. In June 2020, Hindustan Unilever Limited announced that it would rebrand its best-selling skin lightening cream, Fair and Lovely, to Glow and Lovely, and start removing their words like fair, white, light from its brand packaging. And popular matrimonial website Shaadi.com has removed its skin tone filter following an online backlash. But is this stuff enough? Boycotting skin whitening products and expressing rage online are important parts of resistance. But what we also need to do is unlearn these unhealthy mindsets. The fair is equal to beautiful mindset. You need to learn to value more than just an outward physical appearance and celebrate differences. And what you light-skinned individuals can do is recognize that you have a privilege over others and use that privilege to uplift others around you. This India's obsession with fairness may not disappear completely, but it will one day. And it is the deep-rooted internalized racism and social hierarchies based on skin color that give rise to the market for these products that needs to be dismantled. And in the end, just remember, the only thing that needs to be separated by color are your clothes before you put them in the washing machine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sukhmani. This was really very deep subject that you talked about, and it was really very much required. So now we are done with our speech section. So now I would like to share something, since due to net connection I couldn't share much. Everybody knows Steve Jobs, right? The Apple founder. Now, do you know that why Apple is called Apple? Well, let me tell you, there is no hours of brainstorming involved in this. When Steve Jobs and his friend Steve Wozniak were on their way to present their first computer model at Hambrew. So while they were on the way, they thought that they should give some name to their brand, to their design. How should they how they should be presented it? What should they really call it? So while discussing this, one first name which came into their mind was Beatles. However, that was rejected by Steve Jobs itself. And he said that the name should be something which people can easily relate to. It should be something like fruit. Then Apple struck in his mind and he said, yes, we will call it Apple. Apple would be our brand's name. We will call it Apple Computers. This is how his brand names was kept as Apple Computers. And now you know that how prestigious brand it has become. It is not just a brand, it has become social status symbol for many. Now the purpose of telling you these stories is not is just to tell you that in case you have any such idea, so just let it brew because you never know where it can take you and what it can make you. And at our club, TMND, we have really talented people here. So I would like to ask few of you about your such idea, which might sounded absurd or weird to you in the beginning. However, they actually change your life in some way or the other. So I would like to ask from Toastmasters Sukhmani about her such idea, which might have sounded absurd or crazy in the beginning, but it actually turned out so well in her life. So Toastmasters Sukhmani, could you please unmute yourself and share something?
Sure. So during when lockdown started, I desperately wanted something new to do. So I randomly watched a YouTube video on video editing and just learned it. Like I watched a tutorial, but now after like 6 months, I have made a short film. I have made video essays. I regularly post time lapses of my paintings on YouTube. So that has been a good idea. It was very an unnecessary thing to pick up, you could say, but now it has evolved into something much more.
Thank you so much, Sukhmani. Now I would like to ask from our Madam President, Toastmaster Tanya Gandhi, to share some of her such ideas. So let's see what she has to say. Please spot the light on Toastmaster Tanya.
When I was in second year, I was just confused what I want to do and how things are going to work. So I just started working with a storyteller and I started assisting her in her session. I was not getting any monetary benefit. I was just doing nothing more than just keeping her logistics in place and everything. But what I learned after that was great. They had a lot of well-educated mothers, teachers, and I was getting so many different experiences. I was learning a lot about what is happening around us, what kind of sessions the kids are taking these days, and it helped me widen my mind perspective a lot. So that was an absurd idea in the beginning, but it turned out really well, and now I have a very good connection with people of those areas.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for sharing this. Now I want to pick up my mentor, Toastmaster Akanksha Thakral, because most of us know about her story of starting her own company, but I want her to throw some light on this. So do we have Akanksha here? Yes, we certainly have her.
So yes, it did look absurd. It actually looked absurd because nobody supported me at that time. So to my parents, actually, it was mostly with the banking job or with the MBA job, something to have a more settlement with or become a lecturer because they wanted a secure future. And nobody in my family was into the business before. And being a girl, it was another step. So in a family of all the engineers and teachers, so it was difficult to take a step being an entrepreneur. But now they are happy, especially after the COVID when everybody lost their jobs and my business actually boomed in this time. So 2020 might be the worst year, but it has been the most respectful for me because the kind of respect I have got this time, I never got in the past 3 years when I started the company and when I started the group, everything. So now they are really happy. Okay, I took the decision and now I'm on my own and everything is online. So it's working well. So it is fine to take some decisions like that. So sometimes the ideas are not absurd on their own, but to convince other people that they will work,
True.
that is really difficult part.
True, absolutely right. What you said is absolutely right. Thank you for sharing your story. So, guys, on this note, me Nitika, signing off from my role and handing over the stage to Toastmaster Yash Jain to spark off an exciting table topic round. So, let's have a big hand for Toastmaster Yash Jain. Thank you so much.
Well, good evening, everyone. Today, Toastmaster Nitika talked about ideas and creative stuff. Well, boys are not creative. Toastmaster Nitika didn't ask even a single boy did he did something. No, because they are not creative. So Sunday evening, when I got to know that I am the table topics master, I said, "Arey yaar, now I have to think of some topics, 4, 5 topics, and maybe 6 topics." So I thought, no, I will not think of ideas. I will ask you guys for the ideas and I will give that topic to another person. So, and the minimum qualifying time will be 1 minute. Green card will be shown at 1 minute. Yes, Sarita, please wait. I will give you a chance. Please wait. A yellow card will be shown at 1 minute 30 seconds and a red card will be shown at 2 minutes. After the red card, you will have 30 minutes grace period to complete your speech. So, Toastmaster Hriday, will you like to give any random topic that comes to your mind? Come on, Hriday, I'm waiting.
All right. So, do I need to select the person also?
No. That's my duty.
All right. Great. So, the topic is that the best place that you miss during lockdown.
Okay. So, I would like to choose Toastmaster Hriday. And your topic is the best place you missed during the lockdown period. The best place you missed during the lockdown period, Toastmaster Hriday.
Thank you, Toastmaster Yash, for that very innovative topic and being a snake to me. So, the best place that I visited, the best place that I missed during lockdown is going to be definitely my college. In life, there are some experiences that just cannot be recovered or can be gone back to. And for each and every one of us present in this room today, it's definitely going to be college life. So my college life, 1 year of it, 8 months of it actually, now we are all thinking that it's going to be a year, was spent sitting at home, viewing lectures online and not having any social contact with my friends, my friends that I have made in college, my new friends that I made in college. So it's a very tough and life for a teenager or a life for a person going to college. He only looks on to going and getting that experience of talking to people, making new experiences in his life. But because of this lockdown and this situation, we were not able to do that, unfortunately. So that is going to be the place I miss most of all. And also meeting every one of you, because after college, I used to go every Tuesday, we used to meet together. And so meeting you is also something that I really miss. So hope to see you all very soon together in Mandi House. Tanya is crying now. I will leave the stage now. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hriday. That was great. And one inside joke, we all miss Balli. Well, I forgot to say that guests are most welcome to participate. So this time I'm going to pick a guest. So be ready, guest. Well, Akansha Thagral, can you give me a topic? Anything.
What keeps you alive daily, and especially in this pandemic?
Oh, okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Akansha. So, do we have a guest? Prajyot, will you like to try?
Yeah, I'd like to try.
Yeah. So guest Pradyut, your topic is what keeps you alive during this pandemic every day? What keeps you alive during this pandemic every day? Toast guest Pradyut.
So it's been 4 months since I started my nutrition brand. I'm a third year student, a computer science student. I started a Ayurveda health brand recently called Happy Goli Nutrition. So I've been working hard since the past 4 months. We launched in September only, in the beginning of September. So I've been working towards it every day, and I started it with my cousin. So we have been working hard every day, and that is keeping me alive. Just a second. I am really sorry.
No problem, Pradyut. Please continue.
Yeah, so basically working towards building my brand is keeping me alive.
Tell us more. Continue till minimum time, minimum qualifying time.
Okay. What was the minimum time?
Oh, okay. It's done anyway. Thank you very much, Pradyut. Okay. So I just checked my WhatsApp and I saw a message from Toastmaster Swadhin that table topics mein mauka dena, which translates to give me a chance in table topics. And like, okay, I can give him a chance. So Toastmaster Swadhin, give me a topic which I should ask others. Come on, Toastmaster Swadhin, hurry. I will give you 5 seconds.
What did you ask?
Sorry?
Did you ask me something?
Yes, I need an idea from you. I need a topic from you which I can ask someone else.
What's a topic? What is your wildest dream?
What is your wildest? Thank you, Toastmaster Swati. Toastmaster Sarita. Can we have Toastmaster Sarita? Yes. So, Toastmaster Sarita, what is your wildest dream? What is your wildest dream, Toastmaster Sarita?
So I remember once Swadhin was the Toastmaster of the day, and that day too he picked me up, and that was the first time I came. That was the first time I was at my home and I was attending the Toastmasters meeting, and right there he asked me right there he gave me a topic that was also related to something something that I couldn't talk about in front of my whole family. So today also he has given me that subject via Yash. So right now I'm not able to think about anything which about the topic actually, but inside I'm feeling like I want to kill Swadhin from where he brings such topics. So my wildest dream would be that I am one sort of a person who love adventure. So going to Dubai and having trying to have this skydiving thing, and that would be my wildest dream. And right now when I imagine what it would be like in our club only, I guess Sameer has done skydiving. So when I had watched his video, I had this dream that this is something I want to do in my life. So watching his video, and the very moment he had jumped from the airplane, his video only gave me goosebumps. And jumping from that plane with the parachute, that would be my wildest dream. But if right now I'm thinking that if that parachute doesn't open, so that would be my wildest as well as the last dream. So back to you, Toastmasters. Yash.
Thank you,
thank you
Toastmaster
for the topic.
Sarita. That was great. And now our newest member, Toastmaster Akansha Sehgal. Can you give me an idea? Can you give me a topic?
Excuse me, as I'm taking a little time thinking about what I
No problem. Take your time. You are newest member.
What do you think makes your life colorful?
What do you think makes your life colorful? Yeah, okay. So for this topic, I would like to pick Toastmaster Akansha Thakral. Toastmaster Akansha Thakral, what makes your life colorful? What makes your life colorful, Toastmaster Akansha?
So there are many things actually that makes my life colorful. So from the past 1 year, you have been hearing by my mental health and all of those depressing stuff that we actually claim in my speeches. But even in that phase, there is just one thing that keeps me alive every day and that makes me look at the world differently. That maybe, okay, there are different colors and maybe there is some hope, or that we say there is a bright light at the end of our tunnels. That is a hope in everybody around us. When I meet people at TMND, when I go out, when I meet other groups, when I look at my students, when I look at my family, so every person actually has something to offer. Even if you have a disagreement with somebody, it doesn't mean that you hate that person. You actually get a perspective about that. So if you're somebody who can keep those grudges away and you can have a discussion with somebody, then you can also see that, okay, this person is not actually bad. Everybody has something that shaped them as a person. Everybody has something that can change you as a person, and no matter how much knowledge that you have, you always have something to learn from somebody. And it doesn't mean even if it's a 10-year-old student or a 5-year-old child, even they have something to offer. So everything around us is actually colorful. The spark in everybody, no matter what happens in their life, they still keep going, irrespective of their physical or mental injuries, irrespective of everything in life. So that is the most colorful part that I see as the colors. So I'm not a person who is really fascinated by really so many materialistic things. If I get to spend time with my friends, even for 30 minutes a day, I would say that's the most colorful period, or that's most colorful humans for me, because that's the thing that I miss the most. And I think that if you go through a rough patch, you actually start realizing that this is the priceless thing that you can have. Rest things can wait. So,
Thank you, Toastmaster Akansha. That was great. So, Toastmaster Vishesh, can you give me a topic?
The topic that I would like to give is tell me the thing that you love the most about Toastmasters and the thing that you hate about Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Vishesh. For this, I would like to quickly pick up Toastmaster Veena. Toastmaster Veena, what is the best thing and the worst thing of Toastmasters? What is the best thing and worst thing of Toastmasters, Toastmaster Veena?
Thank you, Yash, for this amazing topic. It really brings me on my feet to think about the worst and the best thing about Toastmasters. I would say that there's hardly anything that I dislike about Toastmasters, but one thing that I can think of now that you have reminded me of one bad thing is my experience when I was visiting TMND as a guest initially last year in October. I would enter the club, Himachal Bhavan Conference Hall, and I would see that it's jam packed. There is not even a single vacant seat for me to grab and sit. I would keep standing for hours. At times, there were 3 meetings, one by one at a stretch, where I was standing throughout the meeting for 2 hours. And that was a test of my strength and how strong my feet are. After that, before enrolling myself formally to TMND, I spoke to Sonika Jha, who was the president that time, and I said that, is it something that is usual? Is it going to continue? Then when I joined Toastmasters TMND as a formal member in the first meeting, Sonika told me, Veena, come and sit here. This chair is for you. Now you are a formal member. So that's a mixed feeling. That's a bittersweet feeling for me, because that's good and bad both. And that again goes to show the best part about TMND that I have experienced. There is so much of excitement and thrill in all the members that probably nobody wants to miss the meeting. So every Tuesday, they leave everything else that they are doing and prioritize the TMND meetings. And that goes on to show why the conference hall of Himachal Bhavan used to be so jam-packed and full of people, not leaving any room for anybody to grab a seat and sit on it. I think overall, I would say that this beautiful blend of young people coming together, their eagerness, their excitement, and at the same time, the small immaturities that all of us have inside us, which makes us come alive and keeps alive the child inside us, is something that is very, very evident in all our Toastmasters meetings at TMND. And that is one of the best things that I like about our club. Thank you, and over to the table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veena. Well, let me tell you a thing. When I was a guest, I also didn't get a seat in the first meeting. So I reached 15 to 20 minutes earlier than 6:45 so that I can get a seat in the club. Okay. So Toastmaster Tanya, can you give me a topic?
Okay, so the topic is, why am I still inside the house in this lockdown when everybody is out?
So do we have guest Navneet, Dr. Navneet?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So will you like to try this topic?
Yeah, what was it again?
Yeah. So why am I, guess Navneet, why am I inside the house when everyone is out? Why am I inside the house when everyone is out? Guess Navneet.
Okay. Okay, can I take few seconds, like 10 seconds?
Yes, you can take all the time. No problem.
Not all the time, I need only 10 seconds. Okay. Okay. So in this time of Corona, when we are advised not to step out of the house yet, a paradox shift is happening, that people are getting bored sitting in their houses and they cannot remain glued to their seats. So everyone is finding bits and parts to go outside. Everyone is finding something, some sort of an idea to go out of the house. Maybe the grocery can come at the doorstep, but no, I need to go out. So in this time, I made my mind that despite being a doctor, I have to sit here in my house, and I'm finding ways to do that. And one of that is attending Toastmasters. I am finding ways to keep myself occupied and keep my creativity going on. I've started painting, I've started writing, I've started sewing my own clothes, and this is how I'm trying to keep myself glued in front of the screen with all you lovely people.
Thank you, Navneet. That was great. And I have time for one last table topics. So who should I ask? Toastmaster Nitika, TMOD of our day. Give me a topic ASAP. We don't have time, or else Divesh and Tanya both will kill me.
Let me just think. Any crazy idea that you want to implement?
Anything that comes to your mind.
No, I'm saying my topic is any crazy idea that you have in mind and want to implement.
Okay, so it was any crazy idea that comes to your mind and you want to implement
You want to
it.
implement.
Okay, so for this, I would like to pick Toastmaster Vimika. Vimika, are you here? 5, Toastmaster Vimika.
Am I audible?
Yes, absolutely. So your topic, Toastmaster Vimika. The crazy idea that comes to your mind and you want to implement it. The crazy idea that comes to your mind and you want to implement it. Toastmaster Vimika.
Thank you, Yash. Right now, I am just dying to go out of Delhi, and the place which I have in my mind is Ladakh. I really want to go to Ladakh and just try the adventure things over there. But the weather is going like winters are approaching, so might be it would be difficult in future. So I think this is the best time when I can go to Ladakh. I just want some permissions from home, and I think there would be some issues in going there because of some airline restrictions and all. But I am just dying to go to Ladakh because it was my dream, and I think it would be very late. First, I had a plan to go to Ladakh in April, but because of Corona thing, we could not go. And now I have a plan to go to either Ladakh or some other place like Port Blair or something like that. But I just want to go because really need a break. It's been so many months, means more than 6 months. We are just caught at home. I think I should go now, and this is the craziest idea I'm having to go, just to go out from the house. Thank you, and over to Yash.
Thank you, Vimika. We all want to go out, but I think you should keep Ladakh the last option. It's not safe, I think. Ladakh. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's have the now I'd like to end the session of table topics. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I have taken everybody. I've included everyone in it. So, Vishesh, can we have the polls for the best speaker? And before that, timer, are both the speakers qualified? Prepared speakers.
Yes, both the speakers are qualified.
Can you name them, please, once?
Both Vishesh and Sukmini are qualified.
Thank you, timer. Done, Shita. Come on, guys, quick. 5 more seconds to vote. We have 6 members who have not voted yet. 4 more. We'll wait for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. So, Toastmaster Vishesh, when can we have the polls for tabletop speaker? Can we have it now or later?
Yes, we can have it right now.
Yes, it's here. Toastmaster Danishta, I hope everyone was qualified.
Yes, all the speakers from Table Topic are also qualified.
Great. And I'm sorry, Devesh, you have to work a lot. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone. And Toastmaster, are we having a break for 5 minutes?
Yes, we can have a break for some time.
Okay.
We have Tanya. Tanya, she's saying something. No, we cannot have a break. All right. We have a session planned for all of you. So the president overrules me. We have a session planned for all of you. So we'll start with the general evaluation section right now.
So I would like to hand over the stage to Toastmaster Tanya now.
Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I had to cut down the break because we are already a little late and the session will start at 8:15 and I also need some time for all the evaluations. So now let us start with our first speech evaluator, Toastmaster Harshdeep Parhar, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Vishesh.
So hi everyone. So we'll start with the points that what I really like about Vishesh's speech. First of all, it was a very descriptive content. So when Vishesh started talking about his first mentor Sonika, he gave a very descriptive details like When he first met her on the meeting, she was wearing a blue coat. Her personality was very punctual. By this, the audience who don't even know Sonika can have a brief idea about her. And it was very great, like nicely done. So second is great gestures. As you all know, using gesture is a great idea as they add a layer of meaning and expression and make it easier for the audience to follow along. For example, when he stated a conversation with his with Toastmaster Sonika, like when he was not prepared about about when he was not prepared about his content, and she was showing her like disappointment by like Vishesh, you could have been more punctual. She was showing her disappointment. So great gestures done. And now time for the area of improvement. So first is like your speech was totally monotonous. Throughout your speech, your voice was totally flat. There was a lot of area where you could have used the voice variation. For example, when you started in the opening, you stated a situation and the tone was so flat. Like you could have done like consider a situation in soccer, as it makes more impactful also. And as you stated a situation, which is a very important attention getter, but because of the monotonous tone, it was not that impactful. You can work on it by like vocal exercises. So you can, whenever you're reading, you can state the voice like 1 very low, 5 medium, 10 very loud. Like by this practicing like this, it will be more fun and it will come very natural later on. And the other is more stories. As you were talking about as a prodigy, you only talked about the mentorship in Toastmasters. Your content was totally limited to that only. We would love to know more about like your experience as a prodigy beyond Toastmasters. So I would say that objectives were like 70% achieved, and I would summarize your evaluation. So add more stories, work on your tone, like vocal variety, and great descriptive content, and gestures were on point. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Harsha, for this comprehensive report. And now I would like to call our guest evaluator, Toastmaster Biswajit.
Mic check. General evaluator and fellow Toastmasters and our researcher, Toastmaster Sukhmani. Thank you for throwing light on a dark topic. Dark topic? Our obsession with this fair skin. You killed this fair skin obsession with your research, and you gave a lot of Fs. What are the Fs? F. This fairness obsession is a lasting legacy of the colonialism. Another F. False association of color of skin with success and well-being. Another F. Fairness industry is exploiting our inclination or our obsession with this fair skin. Another F. You give a lot of facts about how the fairness of skin is determined and what are the facts behind it. And you also give another F, that is how Bollywood is creating this subliminal impact in our mind and orienting ourselves towards this fair skin. And also you highlighted with a beautiful reading of newspaper clippings, the matrimonial ads, which is slightly humorous, where you read out how the fair skin is so much ingrained in our psyche. So all in all, for a research topic, you have well highlighted the points behind how much the obsession with fairness has ingrained deep into our psyche. Thank you for highlighting this. I think you not only did research, also created awareness among, at least for me, and I hope the same for the entire audience. And it was supported by data. For example, the industry size, the fairness screen, the rate at which is growing, that is alarming. So it shows how much insecurity, and at the end, you highlighted how this fairness industry has got least respect for the insecurity that it is creating among the individuals who doesn't have the fair skin. So this is what you did as a researcher, you presented to me. Now, how, if it were my speech, how would I have made it different? So when I looked at it, I realized that when in a research-based topic, the research material has to be supported by source because it adds credibility. So when you say that this fairness industry is 80 billion or 8 billion by McKinsey report or Consumer Bureau report or Bloomberg data, that would have added credibility. Second, when you are saying, suppose adverse effects of using fairness cream, liver poisoning, so all these serious things, I cannot smile. At that time, I can become serious. The frown in my face will create the impact, gravity on the subject. Overall, it's a well-researched topic, Toastmasters Sukhmani, with entire facts figure and a lot of F's about the fairness, which are flaws, and just adding the source of the data and changing your facial expression while the while narrating the negative aspects would have made the speech more impactful. Keep fighting against this dark topic, obsession with fair skin. All the best. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Biswaji. And now I would like to call our third evaluator, Toastmaster Devesh, who will be evaluating all the table topic speakers.
Yeah, I hope I'm audible. Okay, great. So I'd like to start with the first speaker, Toastmaster Hriday, and the topic was best place you missed the most during the lockdown. So I'd like to, one thing I would like to talk about the speaker is that I really love the way the speaker started the speech. There were a lot of, he was quite calm and composed, and he took a lot of pauses, which is a great way to deliver your speech. Overall, his speech was appeared to me very, very well structured. He talked about his college life. He talked about how he was missing his friends and the new experiences which he comes across in the college while talking to his friends. These are the commendations. I would like to give one recommendation to the speaker is that a lot of things the speaker talked about, which was very, very good, but it appeared to me as a listener, it was very, very generic. So if the speaker could have focused on one specific thing, for example, if you talk about the online thing has taken over now and the physical meetings have taken a backseat, you could have talked about something like, I got to know about how relevant people are in life. I got to know about this, and so she could have talked about how relevant the physical meetings are, the classes are. So overall, it was a well-structured speech. Great. So second speaker was Prajyot, and the topic was what keeps you alive during this pandemic. Again, the speaker started with a lot of, he appeared quite calm and composed. And he was going with the flow. This was the good part. But as a recommendation, I would like to share that he did not qualify the minimum qualifying time. And he also talked about that he has been keeping busy with his business. As a listener, I was expecting that he could be sharing something like what is keeping him busy. Like, are you doing your promotion? Are you busy with the R&D? Are you selling something like that? So that was a recommendation, but overall, it was a great speech. The third speaker was Toastmaster Sarita, and the topic was what was your wildest dream? The speaker started with a lot of personal stories, and it was great that he connected how she is inspired with the video of Samir, wherein she saw him doing some administrative stuff. This was a good part, but as a recommendation, I would like to share that it's not a great idea to start with a speech looking down. And initially, she was looking down, so she could have improved on that. Also, she took a lot of time when she talked about initially how she took almost like 30 seconds when she mentioned this thing that how in the beginning Swadhin again had given her a topic some time ago, and she was that time also confused. But there was a continuous smile on her face, which is a good part. Overall, it was a great speech. Fourth speaker was Akansha Thakral. And the topic was what makes your life colorful. And she started with a lot of personal stories, a lot of personal notes. And it is a great way to start the your speech because personal stories connect with the audiences very well. Now, as a recommendation, I would like to share that if, as a listener, I wanted to looking forward to having something specific, as in like, uh, what is that one specific thing that you got inspired with in this lockdown? And overall, she mentioned very well that it takes very. It's not that there's something big that happens in your life that you get inspired. Even a child can inspire you. Anybody, friends, you look around, people can inspire you. So overall, it was a great speech. The fifth speaker was Toastmaster Veena, and she talked about the good and the bad thing about the Toastmaster Club. She started with a personal anecdote, and which was very captivating. She started with how initially she used to come to the Himachal Bhavan, and she did not find any space initially. Uh, that was the negative part of the story, but as it was a commendation actually. She connected the moment she said that she had immediate connect with the audience, and she also talked about how when she met Sonika, she was able to sit in the front seat. Uh, so no recommendation for Veena, and I would like to share that it was a great speech. She also left with a message that good and the bad things are two faces of the same coin. So sometimes we get good, sometimes we get bad. So it was a great speech. Second last speech was from guest Navneet, and it was an absolute. It appeared to me that she's absolutely clear about the topic, and she started with a lot of clarity in her speech, and she appeared very confident, and also that she took us through her entire speech with a lot of joy, and she was enjoying the overall speech. But it appeared to me as a very apparent that she stopped just in between. She could have added. She had a lot of time. She would have added. She would have made this thing very insightful. She would have added some more input, wherein she could have talked about what is she up to in this lockdown, and what are the things she has done actually in a specific terms. The last speaker was Toastmaster Vimika, and the topic was any idea that comes in your mind and that you want to implement. Again, the start was great. She took a pause, and she did not jump into the topic and she started, but she took a pause and she started, which is a great idea to start the speech. And so this was a commendation, but a couple of recommendations I would like to share that. Yeah, so it would have been great on the speaker's part to share about why you're excited about going to Ladakh, because entire speech, the word Ladakh came like 7 to 8 times that I want to go to Ladakh, I want to go to Ladakh. But she could have well down what is it that what's it in Ladakh that is making you excited about it. And she could have also infused a lot of excitement while talking about I want to go to Ladakh with my friend, and the friend name is I want to go there on a bike on a bullet. I want to jump into this azure clear blue lake. The story would have been very exciting to hear. So overall, it was a great effort, and it was great to hear the speakers. And these are the evaluations from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devesh. It was really a tough task. And now I would like to ask if we can have polls for best evaluator.
Toastmaster Biswajit and Toastmaster Devesh are not qualified for the polls.
How much time did they take?
Toastmaster Devesh took 6 minutes and 16 seconds, and Toastmaster Biswajit took 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay, so all right, so we won't be having polls for it because we have a clear winner. All right, so now coming on to thank you so much, Manisha. So now coming on to the evaluations of the evaluators. So first came Toastmaster Harshdeep Farhad, the puppy girl of our club, and her evaluations have improved a lot in Sameer's house because he's king of evaluations in our club. So she started with commendations, gave examples, she talked, and then she gave it good solutions, and she showed how that solution can be incorporated. And then she provided with a summary. Just one recommendation I have for Toastmaster Harshdeep, when she said his speech was totally monotonous. So it gave a little sense that it was not coming in a very good form, like it was totally monotonous. So we just could have been a little more empathetic, and if we could just have rephrased it like, I found it monotonous, so Vishesh could have improved this. So the totally monotonous thing did not come in a very good form to me. So just that. Otherwise, Harshdeep I loved your evaluation and it was great. Now coming on to Toastmaster Biswajit. So Biswajit is area level champion of his area, and now he is going to participate in the division champion. I wish you all the best, Biswajit, for this. And Biswajit had a very interesting started, and he had an analogy of using the F's creatively, and he covered all the parts of speeches using those F's in between, and he was always encouraging the speaker. I have just one or two recommendations for Biswajit. First is that whenever we address a speaker, we should do it in a third person's time. Otherwise, it just looks like it is a two-way communication, but we are evaluating for all the people present in the room. Next is Biswajit started recommending by the end of yellow card, and he had only 30 seconds left for it. So I would recommend Biswajit to start recommendations when the green card is shown after 2 minutes, so that he has a lot of time to give the recommendations and summary as well. Otherwise, I really learned a lot using that kind of analogy. Thank you so much, Biswajit. And now we have Toastmaster Devesh, who evaluated all the table topic speakers. And Devesh, I really appreciate you for doing this. It was a really tough task when it is, I guess, first meeting in these 3 months of our term that we had 7 table topic speakers in just single meeting. And you did a wonderful job here. You directly started with the speakers, gave recommendations, gave examples, and then your observation skills are on point when you talked about Sarita and her 6 minute thing. And then you also gave very good recommendations to the speakers. I just have two small recommendations for Devesh. First is that whenever we start, we should start by appreciating the speakers who came on the stage. Like, I appreciate you for participating, just to have an environment which is kind of encouraging. And next, second is that whenever we are recommending a guest, it should be very minimal and a very kind of a generic, because the guest is participating on the stage for the first time. And when we see that you could have said this, you could have said that, so it kind of gives it, I think I am not good in this, so I think I should leave this, I cannot even think about this thing. So it should be more of encouraging and less of like recommendation, should be like very general, like eye contact was missing or something which can be worked upon easily. And with this, I would like to end the report for the evaluator, and now I would like to call for the reports of all the role players. So first of all, I will have report from Toastmaster Faris, the R counter report. Toastmaster Faris. Faris, are you there? I think if Faris is...
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Yes, Faris.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
So there is some problem in my video camera actually. So I have noted filler words in many speakers, like Nitika used many times, so, and other repeating words as well. And in Sukhmani used many repeating words like well, okay. And in Jash Jain he used so, then in Sarita these were the filler words actually. And the fifth one is Harshdeep Kaur. She used well many times. So my suggestion for them is to it's good to take a pause in their speech. Over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you so much, Faris. And now I would like to call Toastmaster Priyam for the report of the grammarian.
Word of the day was used once today. It was used by Nitika. There were some grammatical mistakes by various members. I would like to point out some, like friends that I make in college. Instead of make, there should be friends that I made in college, as it was all in past tense. Another one is I need a idea. The correct version of it should be I need an idea, not a idea. An adjective was also used. An adjective bittersweet was also used by Toastmaster Veena. So that's it. The rest of the meeting is good.
Thank you so much.
Back to you, Tanya.
Thank you so much, Priyan. And now last role player, Toastmaster Dhanishta.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Balancing time is like is walking on a tightrope. So let's see how our speakers did today. Sorry. Yeah. So one tip that I have for people who are walking on this tightrope in green and yellow zone is to time your speech well and to divide your part of your speech differently according to the time, so that you know what time you have reached when you have reached a certain part of your speech. And other than that, commendations to all the speakers and all the best. Thank you. Back to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dhanishta. So now can we have polls for the best role player? Techmaster, can we have polls for the best role player? Thank you. Just let me know when can I start, when the polls are done.
Yes, you can start.
Okay, thank you so much. So first coming to Toastmaster Dhanishta. So Dhanishta started with a quote, then a personal story about her trainer, and then she had a very good language, and she also explained the topics really well. And then I just loved her report, the way she managed it, and she took the screenshots of each and every one of us, and then she posted it. A very well job done, Toastmaster Dhanishta. Just one small recommendation I have for Toastmaster Dhanishta is that the time which was mentioned in the slide was 1.5 minutes to 3 minutes for the speech evaluator. Though in reality it is such, but when we show the card, we show the card at 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and 3 minutes. So we don't show a green card at 1.5 minutes. So please correct that in your slide. Otherwise, I just loved your role. Next, we are coming to Toastmaster Faris. So Faris, congratulations on being a Toastmaster of our club and for doing the role for the first time. And you did a really good job. You gave suggestions to the people who came on the stage, and you also uh, observed your touch words really well. Just few recommendations which I have for Faris is that we don't need to introduce ourselves like I am Faris and I am doing this, I am here for the first meeting. And because the Toastmaster of the day has already introduced us with our name and what is our role, so we don't need to introduce ourselves. Second, the introduction which we should have something, a kind of a story or something interesting to introduce our role, because the explanation that I will be counting the filler words, so we should explain what are filler words and how filler words impact us, something of that sort, so that the guests who are present in the room should get a gist of what this person is going to do, what are filler words. And then a last thing, I know this is a lot of recommendations for you in the first meeting, but I just want that you perform really well in your next role. And the last one is that we do not tend to take names of people of how many use they use. So if you are telling the words, just tell the numbers, like Toastmaster this, use these many or these many, or you can, what you can say is you can just say I was used this much times, was used this much times by these people. So we can just have this. And now the third role player is Toastmaster Priyam. Priyam, again, you talked about grammar. You had a very interesting picture to show how the blunders in grammar can lead to something else. And then you also told about how many times the word of the day was used. You talked about the mistakes that people did. Good job done. I have few recommendations for you. The first one is same as far as that we do not say I am the grammarian of the day, as the KMOD has already introduced you as the grammarian. Second thing, I would have, instead of talking about grammar, I would suggest PM to talk about some concept of grammar, because everyone knows that grammar is very important for us and we should work upon it. But what thing you can give to the club? What is something that we can learn from you? That is what we want. And also, PM did not explain the role. Like he will be keeping a note of good usage and bad usage of words and how many times the word of the day is used, which is the part of his role. He should have used that. And also, only the mistakes were pointed out. The good usage of grammar was very less. Only bittersweet by Veena was pointed out, but there were many. So just keep a note of them, and you did really well. And now, can we have the votes for the best role player? The nominations are Yash, Nitika, and Toastmaster Tanya. Can we have the polls for? Okay, I think I should start.
Yes, Tanya.
All right, thank you. So today's theme, rural intelligence. It is a very interesting theme, and Nitika came out with lovely stories of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Abhishek Bachchan, and I was just amazed about how Abhishek Bachchan became a brand ambassador. But again, it was something I learned now, and then she shared story about how Apple was there, and in the end, she made the session interactive as well, because when we have interaction, the session automatically becomes interesting. So good job done at that. I just have few recommendations. The first thing is, when Nitika speaks, she has this hand, like these hands are very close. So just try to open up the hands, because when we are doing this, it shows that something is closed somewhere. We are just nervous, so we are just playing with our hands as well. So we can just keep our hands closed. We should use some different actions somewhere else. Just do some kind of exercises. And then we have, and the second one is not a recommendation but just a suggestion, that just check your internet before the meeting so that there is no glitch in between. And the third one is chat. Nitika forgot a point in between, so just a little more preparedness or less facts would help that, because she forgot something in between her TMOD. So that would have been, otherwise it was a great session with some wonderful messages. And now coming on to Toastmaster Yash. Yash, what a session. I must appreciate you. You included each and every person in the session. Someone was giving topics, someone was answering, and all of them felt included. So good job done by you, and that too in time. So very well done. And you had a very humorous chat, and it was a very interesting approach to give the topics. And then you explained the time as well, and it was like full of surprises. Just one small recommendation I have for you is that we should not say that I forgot to tell that guests are also welcome. It could have been if like, oh, and there's a surprise that the guests can also participate in this. So instead of saying that it is my mistake, it should be like, no, this is a surprise. So that is it from my side. And now, do we have the person who is giving this module, Kaushik? So,
Not yet, Tanya.
He's just joining. I just had a word with him.
Okay, so
we can
what we can do is we can
declare the results.
Record. Yes, we can declare the votes. Did you share the records with me?
Yes, on WhatsApp.
Okay, on WhatsApp. Let me just see. This MI new update is so weird, yeah. Okay. The best award for the best leadership role player. You can all unmute and speak.
We have Kaushik with us now.
Okay, we have him. Now let's just give the awards and then we will start with the session. So, yes. All right. So, best leadership role player.
Tanisha.
Faris. Priyam.
Miriam.
All right. So, it was Toastmaster Dhanishta for her creative report. Well done. And then we have the best table topic speakers.
Everyone. 7 winners.
True.
Correct. Everyone is a winner. And according to your votes, Toastmaster Akanksha, Toastmaster Veena, and Toastmaster Hriday are the winners of Best Table Topic Speaker. My God, 3 winners. That's amazing. Then we have evaluation to winner of evaluation.
Toastmaster
Any
Harshdeep.
guesses?
Harsha.
Any guesses?
Harsha.
Toastmaster
Harsha.
Harshdeep.
Harsha. That is correct. It is Toastmaster Harsha. And the best role player.
Anya.
Yes.
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 Correct. That is correct. That is Toastmaster Yash. Just wonderful, wonderful session which he took. And now we will be having our module by Kaushik Bhattacharya, DPM, who is also a district champion of evaluation. And I welcome Kaushik sir for coming here and for accepting our invite. Oh yes, I forgot best speaker. Oh, there is a surprise, which is best speaker. Who is the best speaker? The best speaker award goes to Toastmaster Sukhmani. Congratulations, Sukhmani. And yes, so we have Kaushik sir with us. Thank you, sir, for coming. And now the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'll just try to share my screen. Yes, I have access. Just give me a second. So, hi all, welcome to this modular discussion about evaluation. If you have anything that you would like to add on to the points that we will be discussing here today, please feel free to do the same, because the collective inputs from all of us will always be greater than individual input. And if you have any questions that you need answer to, we will be discussing or taking those questions towards the end of the presentation. So we'll have a dedicated Q&A towards the end. Thank you very much. So if we talk about evaluation, now if you ask me what I understand from evaluation, I would say that from evaluation, I understand is what is spelled out in the name itself. And if we spell the word evaluation, it spells something like this. Now, when we say e-value at ION, what I mean is that when you are trying to deliver an evaluation, or when I am trying to deliver an evaluation, it is very important that I have E or emotional connect in my speech. So I should be connected emotionally with the speaker, so that the person who has delivered the speech, irrespective of whether it is a contest speech, in a contest where a test speaker has delivered and I'm evaluating the speech, or it is a session or a meeting, normal Toastmasters meeting, wherein we are delivering or evaluating speeches. This connect is very much necessary. This is necessary because unless and until we try to empathize with the speaker or understand where the speaker is coming from or place ourselves in the shoes of the speaker, it is difficult for me to find out how the speech can be improved. Because like in a judges training program, we always say that we do not judge the speaker and the speech. In an evaluation too, it is important that we are evaluating the speech and not particularly the speaker. So this emotional connect is very much necessary. Now, value would be the value add or what's in it for me, which has to be addressed in the speech that you are delivering as the evaluator. Now, the value addition that your evaluation has to deliver, has to provide, is to be a value add that will be for the speaker and for the audience. So if I'm delivering something as an evaluation and it affects only the audience and not the speaker, in that case, my evaluation will be little lost out. But at the same time, if I deliver an evaluation which is effective for the speaker, also for the audience, then it's an inclusive thing that I'm doing. Now, we have to remember one thing, that the judges are part of the audience. So if I leave out the audience in an evaluation contest, I leave the judges out too. At this, so the value addition has to be there, and my evaluation needs to stand out at the end of the evaluation of every other contestant, so that the value addition is more. And people remember that yes, this particular evaluation added a lot of value. At is going to be important because my evaluation will differ from when I'm delivering an evaluation at a club in a meeting or when I'm delivering an evaluation in a contest. I is important because I am the evaluator. So it is my perspective of the evaluation that I am trying to provide to the speaker. So I as a judge, or I as a audience member, or I as a test speaker, or I as someone who has delivered the speech whose evaluation is going to happen, will not want you to come up to the stage and deliver a speech or deliver an evaluation which is like I'm going to come up to the stage and say my friend sitting next to me was probably not very happy with your speech because this had no voice modulation, or it would have impacted everyone. So this generic way of delivering an evaluation might not be the best way to get ourselves marks in a contest, because it is my perspective that needs to come out, and hence I is important. And on is important because you are going to evaluate the speech and not the speaker. I may be a great friend of the particular speaker under consideration, and I cannot turn a blind eye to that person's recommendations that I need to provide. Or the speaker coming up to the stage may be a great speaker, very famous speaker, great personality, and I know that he or she is a master class in his or her own self. But if I take that into consideration, I cannot deliver a proper evaluation to the speech, and hence I will lose out on marks. And same way, I might think that, okay, I don't like this particular speaker a lot. I know this person will not make much of a impact on me. If I take that perception with me, at the same time, I will lose out on what is going to be a proper evaluation. Now, today we will be discussing about evaluation, like what and where we are going to do. Then we are going to talk about the differences of an evaluation during contests and during regular meetings. And this focus will be more on the contests in this module. And we are going to also discuss the judges ballot and how, as a judge, people try to mark us when we are delivering an evaluation contest. So emotions and valuations are very important, because we are never very happy when we get less of what we expect. And same way, the test speaker or the audience, including the judges, are not very happy when you are not going to add value to the speech. And mutual feelings are very important, because you have to be empathetic, and that there are specific marks on the judges ballot for that. Now, when we are delivering an evaluation, whether it be in a meeting or whether it be in a contest, we need to have specific objectives around which we want to deliver or provide our evaluation. We understand that in a meeting, we have the pathways manual. Earlier, we used to have the traditional manual, wherein we used to deliver our objectives and set the ground rules, and we deliver the speeches. But what about a contest? There are no speech objectives. You must have heard it 100 times that you should not evaluate a contest speech based on any fixed objectives, wherein a speaker, like, you should not say that I'm going to evaluate on any particular ground rules. You should not, it should be generic on all the rules. Now, our objectives is something that we have to keep in our mind. for a contest. I believe that because if I have an empty slate completely when I go out there, sit down in front of the speaker and start evaluating, I will be taken, in a surprise when something goes off bit or something different comes to me. So I always have fixed parameters on which I want to deliver these evaluations in, and those are the objectives. For instance, I would say that when I'm talk, I will have in my mind that I'm going to. So so in 2019, when the year when I won the district finals, so that year when I was sitting for the final speech or final evaluation, I had few objectives in my mind. Like I'm going to evaluate based on there were 16, 17 parameters which I had thought of. So few of them were like, I'm going to evaluate on body language or the physical aspect of it. Now, what are the different sub points on a body language? Body language can be the sync of the body and the voice that is coming out. Sometimes we are very happy in our speeches, but I look dull right now when I'm talking about very happy. And sometimes we are very happy about what we are trying to say. So these subtle things should be in my objective and my understanding when I'm trying to evaluate. In a body language or in a stage movement, we should have like proper stage movement, like differentiation of different parts of the stage, whether the enactment is happening properly, whether different aspects are placed. So if the stage is there, there might be 3 parts in the front, 3 parts on the back, 1 center position, wherein front center, wherein I talk to the person, fall back when I'm trying to talk about setbacks or go back in time, place different characters on different parts of the stage, and then move about between them when I'm trying to transition from one aspect to the other. So this can be an objective for me. When I'm talking about voice modulation, that is also going to be present in my mind, that okay, I'm going to talk about different voice elements that are going to coming up from the speaker. So these objectives need to be there in my mind, and these are just not restricted to these 3 things or with the sub points. There can be other objectives as well that you will have to come up with, and you feel that what is relevant to the particular speech. So how to come up with these objectives? So people who were there in the traditional manual will know that there were 6 speeches you have to deliver before you become eligible for an international speech contest. And in Pathways, it is level 2. Now, in Pathways, all the speeches have all the objectives. It's kind of a complete package that we deliver. But when we are delivering, when we used to deliver the initial or the old ones, so there the 6 manual speeches, first 6 manual speeches were on body language, voice modulation, structure, a generic and a specific message. Then we used to have talking about myself in an icebreaker and these things. So these are the basic points that are necessary for one speech to become a great speech. So these will be there. Now supporting material, usage of props, all these things together can be the different objectives. Now I have to understand these objectives, keep it clear in my mind. And what I would recommend is that we can watch a lot of speeches on YouTube and try to practice those evaluating those speeches based on those objectives. So that I know that when I hear something, this goes into this bracket and my mind processes that fast, that okay, this is happening, so I'll put it in this box. And in a session, we need to clarify and confirm with the speaker that are there any challenges or they are okay with the objective. So clarify and confirm will come only in a normal regular meeting. In a contest, only understanding of the objectives and carrying them out is something which is perfectly fine. Now, recommendations play a very important or a big role in our evaluation speeches. They have a bulk of mark, and they need to be positive and they need to be specific feedbacks that is provided by the evaluator to the speaker. Where, when, and how are 3 very important points that we need to take care of in our recommendation. What are these 3 points? Are that when I'm talking about a recommendation, I have to be very specific on where exactly the recommendation is needed, or where exactly things were not that great or up to the mark and needs to be improved a little bit. So those are the wheres in the speech. When is this is how and when the speaker enacted that, and how it can be changed or improved, and how you have to also show to the speaker. Now there is a trick here, which will be that this is not your speech that you are delivering in an evaluation. It's not a speech that you want to show the speaker that you can do it better. It's a speech, or it's a 3.5 minutes presentation that you are doing. in order to ensure that the speaker understands what things are already there in the speech which are great and what things are there in the speech which can be better. So you have to be specific in those ways. And you, let's say, for example, when I'm providing a recommendation, I should not use the words but, I should not use the words however, because whenever I use the word but, the first part of the sentence kind of loses value. You know, I can always say, you are a great speaker, but I don't like you. So it sounds something like that. So we would like to avoid the words but and however, because being enthusiastic is important. At the same time, being supportive, being empathetic also carries a lot of marks on the ballot. When we talk about the ballot, we'll see. So for example, if I'm going to talk, there were, say, two characters in the speech that the speaker brought in, and both the two characters were conversing with each other, but as an evaluator, you feel that probably the voice modulation of the two characters could have been better. You can say that, say, if I'm there in an evaluation contest and I'm going to talk about these two characters, I would say that your speech had a variety of characters that were vivid, in case they're vivid. Of course, if they're not vivid, you cannot just say for the sake of saying, then you lose marks on analytical ability. But if imagine they're vivid, and we can say that I appreciate that you brought in a lot of characters which were vivid in your speech, and they were conversing through each other, and the message came out through those conversations. Now, if we take those two characters and make their voices even more distinct, for example, when the old man is speaking, he can speak, son, you can sit here. And when the child is speaking, he could have responded like, okay, I will sit here. So these variations will help us understand that the characters are more tangible and the characters will make more of an impact, so that we distinctly differentiate there are two things going on and each has a message that they need to deliver. So here, I did not use the word but, however, I tried to be supportive to the speaker by appreciating the good thing that the speaker has done, and at the same time showed the speaker what are the things that can be improved in the voice modulation without overdoing or recreating his speech. Same, just one line or two lines from the speaker's speech has been delivered in a way I felt can be improved. So the what, where, how, when has been covered, but at the same time, I have not made it into my speech, but it is still the speaker's speech. So whenever we are providing recommendations, these things needs to be covered in a speech. Commendations do not are specifically visible on the ballot, but they play a very important role, and they are there to motivate. They makes the speaker to understand what should be kept and how it was done. So these need to be short, because you do not need to enact and say that how they can be better or what exactly did the speaker did in a grand way. But you can always say that when the way you build up the characters, wherein you described how your teacher was a grumpy old man with a mustache and a specs, and he used to enter the classroom, everyone sat down, that made the character even more tangible, and it made us even more vivid in front of our eyes. Brilliant painting of picture through your words. So maybe 2-3 lines here and there with 2-3 explanations will work for commendations of each of the points. In an evaluation contest, we have limited time. We cannot just sit there and talk for 15 minutes and deliver a fantastic evaluation, which everyone will say, wow, what an evaluation. But then again, we get disqualified. So there is no particular value to what we are trying to achieve in the contest through that. So what we would try to do is we will try to understand how much we can speak. Generally, I've seen that speakers go with a 3 recommendation kind of a mix that they try to deliver. Personally, I try 4 recommendations, because I want to stand out, because everyone is saying 3. So I thought that I'll go with 4. That is what I did in that year's 2019 division and district finals as well. That everyone speaks 3. Why not I go with 4? Now, the problem with a 4 more than a 3 is I have to speak faster than what other people are doing. So I have to be very cautious about the time. Now, if I make it 5 or 6, then it becomes like this guy is talking a lot, bashing of the speaker, talking a lot of negatives, and I don't like a lot of negatives being said to the speaker, and because it makes the speaker demotivated, right? So that can be a problem that we do not want to achieve. achieve in speech. Just give me a second, please. This is what we are going to try and we are going to deliver when we are trying to deliver in an evaluation, contest. So when we are practicing our evaluation speeches for an evaluation contest, we need to understand very well that how are we going to time ourselves. Now that is going to be very important, right? Because I need to be prepared and I cannot go into it without any preparation of what I want to speak in my mind. So I personally do this, that when I start an evaluation, CRC is very important. Everyone knows about CRC and everyone talks about CRC approach. So that is particularly fine and that is going to be there. I try to change this CRC into making it a little different. So when I start with my evaluations, excuse me. So when I start with my evaluations, what I do is I start the evaluation with addressing the audience and addressing the speaker with a couple of one line of how the speaker was when the speaker was presenting the speech and what is my key takeaway from the speech and how it actually impacted me in a way or something that I
Okay, thank you, Kaushik, for joining.
that I
I know it's a short notice.
that I would like to deliver in the speech. At the same time, after that particular thing is done, I would like to move over to the commendations. Now, the first introduction and all these things is going to be for around 1 minute, 15 seconds that I start off. I give that one positive thing that has impacted me and something that has been with me and I want to keep it with me and that has motivated me. Once that is done, I will take around 1 minute and 15-20 seconds around for the recommendations. I choose 4. So 10-15 seconds, small commendations here and there. And then we're going to talk about recommendations. So by 1 minute, 1:15 seconds, I have 1:30 around, I have completed everything else. Now recommendations will be starting and I'm going to spend around 15-20 seconds per recommendation. So if I have 4 recommendations to deliver, I have around say 15 seconds each. So that will be 1 minute, but I can take more than that because I have time. So I take around 20-25 seconds per recommendation because I have to be elaborate on the recommendations. So by the end of around 2 minutes and 40-45 seconds, I will be done with the recommendations 4. Now 15-20 seconds is a lot of time that you can speak actually if you split it up. I can start about with what exactly went wrong and like the example that I gave with the voice modulation recommendation that took around 15 to 17 seconds, right? So if you have 20 seconds to speak, you can actually speak substantially well on a particular topic. So recommendations and commendations has to be balanced, and then comes the summary part. Now summary is missed out by a lot of people in the contests as well. So in the evaluation finals as well, the summary is delivered a lot of times, but people tend to miss it. So in the summary, try not to add anything. Just sum up. In your speech, we had brilliant voice modulation, body language, stage coverage, and structure. Probably a little bit of usage of props, the usage of pauses, and some other examples that you have given. So a couple of them, and this speech will be even better. Now, the last thing that you want to do is, so this is short. This takes around 10, 12, 15 seconds, but this gives you 15 marks on the judges' ballot. And the last thing that you want to do is inspire the speaker, motivate the speaker, and ask them to come back to you or come back to the stage and deliver. So you have to motivate them. This call for action has to be there in your speech because that has marks on the ballot when we are trying to deliver this. Now, when we are now this is about the basic of the evaluation structure, but when we move at, we have to also focus on the value it added, because the value addition that you have done or delivered through your evaluation is going to ensure whether you win or not. 4 recommendations can be on voice modulation only, but that will mean that you have added value in a one-dimensional way. So try to cover different aspects when you are delivering the particular evaluation. But that is why you need the objectives that are there in your mind at the beginning of the speech. So to understand the different objectives, try to have a diverse set of objectives that we can motivate at the end, like we discussed. It is very important, and stand out to make a mark. A lot of people are going to evaluate the same speech, so it is very common to see that the points will get repeated across the speakers, because everyone is seeing the same speech, everyone sees it, and as you go up in the contest, all of them are good evaluators. Now if you want to make evaluate a speech and say the pauses were not that good, probably if there are 12 contestants in the district finals, 6-7 of them will comment on that the pauses were not that good. It is very obvious. It happens. So you have to do something that makes your recommendation different from the other person's recommendations. So if so I see Yash and Harshdeep and Devesh's camera on in my screen. So if they are delivering 3 evaluations and they are going to talk about pauses, so maybe Yash's presentation of pause, Harshdeep's presentation of pause, and Devesh's presentation of pause will make an impact on the judges' panel. For example, in the division contest that year, I use this pauses as a differentiating factor. How? Because I use voice modulation to come up with the pauses. So say for example, the speaker was repeating the pauses as the sun rises in the east, and the sentences were like this. So I said that in your speech the pauses were a little repetitive. It came out like, if I plotted graphically, it came out like la la pause, la pause, la la. The sun, so just for explanation how it was, the sun pause rises pause in the east, and this was repeated. Now pauses make music, and if we use the pauses well, we can create a lot of impact and ensure that the pauses are placed pregnantly before the object, when the suspense is revealed, so that the audience's mind is wondering what exactly is going to happen. So the sentence can be, the sun rises in the east, and we wonder, we think, and then you give it to us, where is the sun rising? Probably the sun rises in the east is not going to create the suspense, but if anything it is else, it is about the speaker's personal story, it will. And then I say that if we now present it in a graphical pattern, it will come out like la 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 pause la la, which is a better sounding music than la la pause la la pause la la. So yeah, you can always make la la pause la la also sound humorous and funny and make it, but you intentionally want to make it a little dull than the one you want to make sound better. So probably those things you have to take care. So this was one way. In the finals, the speaker was talking about how his life came crushing down because of some mistakes that he did, and then he had to build it up again. So I talked about usage of props to carry that out. Now, what can be usage of props? I was thinking while I was taking down the notes, and a house of cards came to my mind. So I said that you can maybe build up a house of cards, then blow air, and the house of cards fall down, and everything is shattered. And then you again pick them up, build it together, and your life is back on. So the mistake that you did was the blow of air, and the effort that you put in were the things that you were doing right. Once again, putting in effort, try to fix everything and bring everything back together. So usage of props will probably drive home your message well and connect more, communicate more with the audience. So this is something which is going to be a differentiating factor on how you are presenting the evaluation. So standing out to make a mark is important, because otherwise at the end of 12, 14, 17 speakers, judges sometimes tend to lose out on the points that they are delivering. If you look at the judges' ballot, analytical ability plays an important role with 40% of marks, recommendations are 30% of marks, technique has 15%, and summation has another 15% of marks. Now, analytical ability is how clear or focused you were, how you could understand, come up with the points that were good, that you can be used in recommendations, or what are the commendations. So everything comes under analytical ability. So the positive that you have delivered, if you're using a theme, use it. Go ahead with it. I used a theme called Beats in the district final. So if you have seen the YouTube video for that, you will see that I related the speech with a beat or a music. And then that acronym of BEAT was used for coming up with B for builder, B for enactment, A for audience interaction. I don't remember the rest of the things that I did, but it's something on these lines. And same way, when I was delivering the recommendation, I again expanded beat, and it was like, how can you take these same beats and make them even better? So that comes in analytical ability. Recommendations, we talk why is positive, specific, and helpful. That is 30%. Summation, we talked how we want to summarize, that is 15%, and encouraging, the last line is required. So that'll cover some parts of marks here. And in the technique also, there's a motivational thing, right? So once you are getting that emotional connect, empathizing with the speaker, you're being sensitive, you're being sympathetic, and you're motivating it. Motivated at the beginning or at the end or throughout the speech, to ensure that you're getting marks here. And trust me, lot of the speakers, even in the finals, every year miss out on encouraging at the end. So when you are adding just that one line, say investing 4-5 seconds of your time of 2-3 minutes and 30 seconds in your entire time that you have in encouraging the speaker at the end, you are covering a lot of marks on the judges ballot. So this is how the judges ballot goes, and this is how evaluation can be delivered in a shorter, crisp way. So we discussed about the time, how we are going to develop or distribute the time. We also discussed about the different aspects of the ballot and how I structured the speech, something, ideas on how we can stand out and make an impact. If you have any questions that you want to ask or you want to share, you can please unmute and speak.
Good evening, Kaushik.
Kaushik, I have a question. Sorry, I think there was somebody else who wanted to ask. Please go ahead.
Viswajit here.
Yeah, please carry on.
Kaushik, can you give us some example of transition? Generally, I struggle from transitioning from recommendation to back to commendation. Or similarly, commendation recommend is slightly easier, but again from recommendation to back to commendation. That time, any tips for good transition?
So I would say that when you are talking about transitions, or when you are trying to deliver a transition, it is important that your speech yourself is very smooth in a contest. And if you are lacking transitions or lacking smoothness, that can impact the amount of marks that you are fetching or the marks that you are getting. So ensure that you have practiced enough. When you get time before the speech, when you have submitted the paper, you are outside in the holding area, in this case the virtual room in this year. You practice in your mind your speech, so that when you get there, you know what you're going to exactly speak through. You have the paper in your hand while you are delivering, so you can take the exact example and then move on. And in case the speaker is, you want to talk about the speaker's transition, in that case as well, you will be able to find out whether the speaker has a definite introduction, body, conclusion, and was it seamless when he was moving from the intro to the body to the conclusion, or was it like 3 disjoint paragraphs of stories that came up? So maybe that can be one commendation or one recommendation that can come up.
I'm talking about my transition, how the transition I will use from recommendation to commendation.
So you don't need to spend a lot of time in an evaluation speeches transition. But when you are going to start, like I said, that I start off with, say, I'm going to evaluate your speech, and in the finals, like I said, that you talked about failures and then succeeding, and it made me remind that I should never give up. Your speech added a fresh beat of life to me and inspired me. And then I expanded beat for the commendations, right? So it was like I transitioned through that you inspired me, and it added a fresh beat of beats to my life, like energy-filled music and stuff. And then while transitioning from the commendation to the recommendation, I said that how can we take these beats Now your speech is already great, but how can we take these beats and make them even better by changing the beats to B for this, C for A, and then I again talked about the recommendations that I wanted to make. So maybe usage of 10-15 words here and there across the speeches, just relating to what you have said, and then the next line, what you want to say, and put them together. So this will come up when you evaluate more, not just in the sessions, but probably yourself as well, and share those evaluations with your mentees, mentors, and you can have a discussion.
Yes, so I had a question, Kaushik. It's a great structure that you have taken us through. It's an amazing thing. I want to know, do you have any format? For example, I played a role of an evaluator today. Where I struggled was I did not know how to start with. What should I write? Should I listen to the speech first and then write it? And then should I keep scribbling it during the speech? Or should I write the commendation first or the recommendation first? I struggle in these areas. Can you just help me out as in how to capture the speech actually evaluation on the paper?
Yeah, so if you have the objective, so what I personally do is I have those objectives in my mind that I know that these are the 5, 10, 15 or 17 points that I want to, talk on. So, and I practice by watching a lot of different speeches wherein I try to understand that, okay, how when something comes up, I'm going to fit it to this bucket. So when I finally sit there and try to evaluate, I know in my mind that I will be evaluating on these 10 parameters and nothing else I'm going to talk on. So unless it is something very obvious that, that comes to my mind, so that is catches everyone's attention. The speaker suddenly stops speaking and for 1 minute. So maybe that is something that you would like to highlight, but in an encouraging way, that you pause, you forgot, but then you still had the courage to come back and deliver the next speech again. So maybe that can be a recommendation in the form of a commendation. So that can be there. But those points, those 10 things that you have in mind, say, you know that you're going to talk about body language. So when the speaker is you watch the body language and note it down. You know you are going to talk about voice modulation and different characterizations in the speech, build up in the speech. So you see if the speaker is going to do a build up of the character or just talking about the character. Just note it down on your paper. So you will be aware of what you exactly want to speak on, and that will probably help you. If I go with an empty slate, and because there are hundreds of ways a speech can be delivered, right? If I go with a completely empty slate and try to evaluate the speech on all the 100 parameters, I need an hour to just sit down and write a critical review. I do not have that much time. So I have to do it fast. So I need to specify myself that these are the parameters I want to be talking about. And those parameters should be important. It should not be grammar because it's not a grammarian contest. It should not be on arms because it's not an R counter contest. So the CC 6 to 7 manual speeches, the pathways speeches, whether there was a call for action, if there was a call for action, whether it was defined that how that call for action can be achieved, because that is something we generally miss. We say get up every day in the morning and work out, but how to get up, probably that misses out in this speech. I said that because I rarely get up in the morning and work out. So maybe, yeah.
Yeah, so what I understood is that you were saying that I need to have the 10 parameters in place with me, and I keep on slotting the speakers on these parameters. Is that what I said?
Yes.
Okay.
Try to have it generic, try to have it varied,
Got it.
but keep it within 10-15 because too much will not help.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Thank you very much.
Hi, Kaushik. I have one question. Like you said in the starting that we should start our evaluation with the key takeaway. And I always struggle with the takeaway. Can you suggest something about this thing?
So for a takeaway, it will be if it's a speech that is being delivered, try to see what is the message of the speech. The message is the takeaway, and if you have something that you can relate from your life that the speaker is going to talk about, that the speaker's message talked about, maybe that you can relate. So you don't have to explicitly tell about your incident because it's not a speech, your speech. So for example, like I said that failures and then come back was the theme of the speech for the speaker. So I said that you reminded me that failing is not giving up, but about fixing my mistakes and going forward. So that's a takeaway for me.
Thanks a lot.
So just twisting the message in another way so that you feel connected and your analytical ability marks come.
Thanks a lot.
So if there are no more questions, I guess we can share your questions offline as well. He has my number, so if any questions, you can later at point of time you can WhatsApp me and I can get back. Thank you so much, and over to Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Kaushik sir, for coming and for giving us such a wonderful module. And I know that it will be helping us for our contest. And please do join us next week because it's a contest. Next week, so just see how your students have performed. And again, I want to thank you a lot for coming, taking out time for our club. I know it's very tough in this virtual world because everyone must be calling you for this, and you considered us. Thank you so much for this. And any feedback which you have from this meeting or something? All right. So now I think it's time that we should all take a leave. But before taking a leave, I would like to have the feedback from our guests. Biswajit, how does it feel to come back to your home club?
It was so amazing, and you guys are so enthusiastic. So I thoroughly enjoyed both the speeches, the tabletop fixation, and the creative tabletop fixation, I must say. It was involving everyone. Especially, it's a challenge on this online platform to engage the audience. So kudos to Tabletop Master to create and make an interactive tabletop fixation and good feedback. And for me, the bonus was the evaluation session, which will be very helpful for me for the contest and after 2 weeks. And thank you for the feedback that I received for my evaluation. Wonderful session. I would love to come back again.
Thank you so much, Biswajit. Do we have Prajot with us? Yes, Prajot, what is your feedback about our meeting?
It was really nice, and I'd like to know, like, what is a good start? What is there a resource I could refer to, like, to understand the format a bit?
Format of like our meeting or format
of the meeting, or should I just attend a couple of more meetings and that's the best way?
Just drop your number in the chat box, and I'll add you in the guest group, and then you will be able to get all the updates and everything, and our VPN will get in touch with you regarding everything.
Okay, sure. I've sent my contact number on the chat.
Thank you so much, Prajot. Thank you. And again, I would like to thank all of you for staying here till 9 and Kaushik for coming here. And with this, we end up today's meeting, and now get ready for our contest next week. And we will be revealing the details very soon on the group. So be ready, stay posted, and stay safe. The meeting is over. And if you want to stay here, we can chat. If you want to leave,